Piggy. Piglet. There is a pale and sickly orange dawn, peering through the dark tangle of barren winter limbs and branches as my black and white baby, impervious to the trials of life, remains a true trooper. Going through each life circumstance with a toughness and resiliency that defied every obstacle, now to be smited by something so simplistic and so trivial as a stomach ailment. Disconnected, dazed, stumbling and falling in the hall on the way to the water dish. He abandons his truest passion now, walking past his breakfast fare. Tenderly tapping his toes across the floor when he walks and falling on baby bunny on his way unsteady and weary. His legs give out. Veterinarian takes him away from me in the office and shrieking peals forth from his lips like none I had ever heard. I guiltily review all of the promises made and all the things I told him life could be, if only things could somehow play out differently. Dreams for him constantly stirring inside of me, ever deferred by reality. Wishing often for a yard where you could wander free, unobstructed by my consummate catering, and a workplace where welcomed you could never be severed from my side even as we create the things that earn money. A better home-cooked meal every day, chicken preferably. Platforms imaginatively running along the wall near the ceiling where you could run on and play. A comfortable people bed for you to find comfort beside me, where now your weary body could have laid. Now, future dreaming starts falling to the wayside, trying to make up for a great many things in little space of time, even as you are pained and weak and weary. Responding to my hugs, a small purr issues forth, but the hug is complacently received, distantly pained and hiding your hurt from me. My dear sweet boy, from the start you chose me, even in those early days, your little ferret body nuzzling, cajoling, encouraging love from me despite my sense of greater love for your fluffy brother Fudgy, or my art, or whatever else I might have felt was more important to me, which carried me busily away from you. Yet, you never ever gave up your fierce, sure and unending love for me. Please let there be something left I can give you to make it all better again, to bring you back to what you were before this thing, so I could properly tell you I love you unendingly and without the distractions that led again and again to a great many nothings. Give me a chance to give you all I had hoped life could be. Pleading forgiveness, impressing love, trying to alleviate the painful guilt over what I lacked or failed to give you. A tiny, tender, short-lived purr lets me know that you know this grieves me deeply. My dear sweet boy, I need to honor you in this place of being ill and bring you the honoring presence I wanted to give you all along, a presence that you now truly need, by trying to let you rest and be at peace. My everything baby. I went to the chapel and I went to the lake seeking refuge from this painful unknowing. Results coming back today, they said from the veterinarian. Waiting, 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 and while at the lake the waves shush me repeatedly as if to say it would be okay. I know I have to wait to call to find out news from the veterinarian, yet the phone has no reception here with the lake beside me, and it feels oddly, almost reassuring to be forced to take a moment before plunging into the next thing. I want the news of the results, but I want to further plead. Maybe a bowel obstruction is what is happening. Maybe if we can just get an X-ray we will know what is going on, even though when I left this morning you rested after repeatedly straining to go to the bathroom in each and every room. Hardly enough energy placed in each space here to make it feel like we own this space together. Our home so new, and yet each room now carries that memory of you straining. When I came home I called the vet on a courageous impulse and they said your kidneys were failing and it was one of the worst cases, which made me appreciate so much how courageous you were and how bright with hope your eyes are always, as if to say, if only I could lick this, then I could stay yet the way things were. Oh, how to describe how things I felt truly when that moment already seemed so far away from view? I recall I wrote the numbers down as the veterinarian gave the readings, the levels of phosphorus impossibly high, then my hand fell to my lap when I realized the meaning behind the words, there is nothing to do to save Piggy. Moaning and sobbing into the house, telling the news in the bedroom where your papa was laying there beside you on the bed. I feel like from then on you knew from observing me, not able to keep it together, knowing yourself how I responded when going through the losses of our dear other babies, that maybe you understood that this time the grief was for you. My silly little clown boy, I sit laughing through tears at the memories of you running with paws scratching up the wall, giggling, following me as a perpetual sidekick from bathroom to kitchen to everywhere in between, just wanting be near, purring and making cute giggly noises despite my distracted irritation over life. How I wish I could have it all back. I never thought I would be waiting for your death and calling for death in the night to come take you from me while you curl up in bed as you always did on my side of the coiled blanket beside me. You coming back again and again after trying to go bathroom in vain, to rid yourself of the toxins and pain. Sick from kidneys, and it seems that too suddenly did we find out you were leaving. Too suddenly to even wrap our heads around your dying and to be able to make sense of it wholly. As the death machine cometh on its way, you peer over the couch to see the way to come and jump up beside me with spindly weak legs, your bright eyes still hopeful that somehow by curling warm and tender beside me somehow I will take away all of the pain. Last night was a sleepless night, sitting up with you through the night, afraid to keep you awake and yet not able to let go of you. Snuggling gently into you in the bed, I sat up petting you over and over again, maybe petting away guilt and petting away the woe of knowing I cannot snuggle into you tonight, resting my head in bed while you are cold in the earth. Waiting through tears and silence, letting you sleep and knowing there is nothing left for me to give and no need to try and elicit another purr from you after all you have given me. Please always know, despite my fault and flaw and selfish ways, I loved you as your mother and I am grateful to have witnessed you as my dearest love. I will love you for all time. I hope you know even in your final moments this was the most painful gift to offer unto you, to have the wisdom and strength to let you go. Even though I would have wanted for you to forever stay right here beside me forever. Fear/sadness/regret. Nauseous with my own fears of death as you plead with me, tiny cries only twice that you sounded similar to your brother when he was dying. The tiny cries that once I hadn't heard because of my dissociated states of being busied with nonsensical things. These whimpers contrasting sharply with the memories of your shriek at the vet when they said they simply squeezed you while in the back room. A sound which resonated through the building like nothing I have ever heard before from you. I always wanted to be with your mother till the end, and now I apologize because I know it is my job to be the one to shelter you, and here I am helping hold the light so the vet can jab you and put you to sleep. Your tail puffed when you died and I hurt right along with you in those last moments of courage and fear in a way that I regret my very existence to have to send you away like this. All of the regrets flood back of when I shooed you away because I was too busy, because now that deplete energy weighs heavily on my soul is a loss I am not sure I can bear wholly, to not able to sleep in the bed with you nestled in the space the next to my bedside pillow where I lay the soft cashmere sweater nest to protect your painful body from discomfort. I pulled you near me through the night, biding my time and keeping you there beside me as you drooled till your pale white chest fur crusted over with the smell of death. Yet I nuzzled in, still not wanting to ever forget your tender being and to you feel frail and weak. You are no longer the solid boy who wanted food and always kept himself so stocky and chunky, both of us sharing a mutual love of food, you beside me during every meal. Now all of this taken from me and I am not sure how I can handle the emptiness of this big house or the scared tiny cries of your brother hunting for you in the house, searching every corner. Not knowing how to remain busy without your clown-like energy, I feel I am losing now the physical sense of being near you as you nuzzled next to me. The organic nature of your being so familiar to me, your smell, your softness, your way of yielding to me willingly and letting yourself fall into my being like a conjoined piece of me, a true mother and child, imperfect in our push and pull. How can I not find a corner of respite from the pains that this brings? How can I see life beyond this morning? How can I be sure I did the right thing when the right thing has brought me nothing but pain? My soul starving to find your energy again. To let you settle in by me. My heart and soul hunting for you in the great stark abyss, sitting with all of the promises made of which I failed because life changed the ideal course to this. How can I now lay in the bed you used to snuggle in beside me alone? You were ever nuzzling and coming from one side of the bed to the other depending on which direction I turned following, and I wrapped you sometimes like a tumbling cocoon by my legs during the deepest parts of sleep and came up all ruffled and disoriented back to my side again as always. You always were there to tell me it was time for breakfast, tapping me on the face or tugging on my blanket unrelenting until I woke, then making that little purring giggle of victory as I grumpily came to the bathroom first, you waiting there for me on the carpet eagerly, even as I dismissed you deferentially so I could read briefly before getting going patiently. You gave me love to the degree that maybe I never wholly deserved. Now my heart depletes with guilt and longing. Please God help me find my way to my baby. Now that you are gone I am lost in a darkened shroud. Shadows cast across my very being. And the silence is so complete I can't seem to see beyond it to find the things that make me want to live again. Without you I am unable to fathom how to move past that need to have you beside me as you always had been and as foolishly I thought you always would be. Dying myself in paces and not able to let it go of distracting myself. Wanting pictures and memories gathered around me, wanting to never forget your loving energy or to go forth without you right there beside me. Come back to me, let me know where you are. I am dying for that peace, I am dying for the comforts only you could provide and the comforts that now I have to live without wholly, which are forevermore gone from me. Now as the dawn begins to pale the darkened sky I think of how you nestled into me and how you let me hold you even as I knew you were too frail and dying bit by bit. Nobody gave me the love you gave me, submitting to the snuggles and the hugs because you knew of my great need, and yet you too found a way to enjoy the hugs too for my sake, purring in gasping stutters even near the end, even when I could tell it was difficult to share a purr, even while I could smell death on you, honoring our closeness tenderly. I rocked and cradled you like my baby and kept you near and told you it would be okay even though I wasn't myself sure. I felt like you needed to know it to be true. I knew you knew me, and yet can you ever understand the choice made? The strangulated choice that stopped me in my tracks and made me now regret even having to live again without you. It happened too fast, one day eating chicken, the next not interested in any food at all. If only I knew the cat food I gave you had phosphorus to a dangerous degree. If only I had known when you were coming to me, it was not to be a pest but because you felt sick and had a need. When I first observed you struggling in the bathroom you made your cute little noise. Glad I witnessed your suffering, and yet I still hadn't realized that soon with my help the veterinarian would end your life here with me because of this painful toileting. I know that is not what you wanted when you asked of me. I know you wanted to be here with me. Why could I have not conjured up some magic spell that it would have kept you forever who you were, that loving selfless being? We are here in the dark together, walking down that path we have walked before with our other babies. It is the sacred park and burial grounds where we buried our other cat and dog babies. The air seems calm and soft in the dark, and the drippy dark and golden-hued sky is light-hearted after all the pain of birthing into the eternity that awaits all of us mutually. Your papa bearing you down the slippery path with love and honor, a greater love never known in the universe as the love we held for you and our other dear sweet babies. Your papa and your uncle building you a tomb of leaves and stone where you could find your final rest, making it big and sturdy, making it safe and snow-covered. My dear baby there in the cold, I never imagined it could be so hard to leave you behind and to imagine that this somehow honored you to die. These thoughts are truly beyond my fathoming. A mother's grief prolonged into each step I take. Standing in silence, stunned and delirious, holding the flashlight and watching you get tucked in the hole, not believing you are in there when you should be home in bed tucked into the thick blanket where I could return to you after this nightmare ceases. Oh God, this all feels like such a cruel joke played on my heart and soul. As I plead now for the chance to find your energy, I recall also the moments when I asked to know decisively whether there is a heaven before you left, and all day that day as you kept coming by me I knew that heaven was right there in your eyes looking at me. Heaven like the sun rising to see you peering over the couch wanting to be near me, pain and everything time and time again circling from the bathroom back to me with such a love. Pain set aside briefly, it seemed to feel warmth passing between us, to smell and touch each other lovingly, to find comfort even in such a little thing like fur against lips on your forehead which already smelled like kisses. Or, the chance to hold your very essence close, to rock you and rock you in my arm, trying to be your courageous mother and deliver you unto what, I am not sure. Maybe from the pains that were sure to come, from seeing plates of food and not being able to eat, or seeing the others playing in the hall and not being well enough to adventure too. I am not sure who I am without you anymore, punching my leg angrily, realizing all that has come to pass and weeping tenderly as I tell Mr. D you are gone, as he whimpers and peers beneath the couch and goes into the kitchen to seek your energy, time and time again pacing, calling, looking for his dear wigs. I will never be the same without you, and don't want to even carry on, really, to have to know again around every corner that you are gone and won't be there for breakfast, or that you won't be there to hold on to when things get tough or scary. I felt like sliding into that hole with you and dying just to not have to bear all of these moments missing you, looking for you. It all seems a blur. Your papa kneeling before you as you lay dead, sobbing as he wrapped you in a blanket with your beautiful little toys, your milk ring, your catnip pillow and your string. I helplessly can't touch you because I can't understand that you are not here in this place with me, in your body which feels so firm and stiff, yet your eye still looks up at me, opening again and again as we close it, so it seems. The veterinarian reassuring that these things happen sometimes when dying. Oh, how I wish this would have never come to be. How do I replace this dying energy? Piglet, my dear sweet baby. How I wish I could have had more time for you, and how I wish that life would not have stolen you from me. Even though it was at my fucking bidding. My fucking bidding to ask you to go, because I knew. I fucking knew you would suffer and you would want me to help you, and I knew I could not help you any longer to keep you beside me, and knowing too that fate would have been a longer, crueler road, chiseling away at the essence of you painfully. Yet, my dear little baby, let it be known that grief is ripping my heart apart. I am pleading with the universe and pleading with my heart to provide the answers as to the ways to keep going without you. Still searching for the energy of the dead. It is hard because my spirit keeps trying to find Piglet again. And he was my truest comfort, always lending himself to my sorrows and allowing me to hug and love him like no other being could. Now I feel this tremendous void, and yet I hope that I can find that sense of his energy as the grief releases its grip, since he was truly my baby. Baby D watches for you when he gets his breakfast today. Bunny Cat replaced you in the bathroom while I get ready in the morning to go to the store to get food for their breakfast. She even lets me hug her and sits with me now on the couch. They know I am sad yet, and they are a blessing to me every day. Piggy, I remember you sitting behind me on the couch, sagging down on that cushion as I had my things all piled around me. I wish I could have renounced all those busy making machines that didn't matter as much to me. I am having a hard time knowing how to plan for the future without you, and as the night is descending upon me I face the great abyss of darkness without you. Am I permitted to go on? Can you ever forgive me for your death? I never wanted to see you leave ever in a million years. I could not sleep tonight. I am awaiting dawn because I can't forget you, and I can't lay down in the bed where we used to lay together sleeping. You were the most forgiving and wholly loving spirit I have ever known, having loved me infinitely more than anyone else ever has, or with more generosity or leeway than anyone has ever given me. I am parched for your comforts, I am emptied when I think of you not here with me. The night is quieter without you and the darkness deeper, and your little bed is still curled up near our heads as a memorial. I can't bear to lay there in silence, and though it is not long till dawn I can't let myself lapse into sleep. It seems entirely possible that sleep will never come to me. I feel like you are out of reach, a million miles away, and yet when I was in bed I thought of you nuzzling your little nose into my neck and purring and taking any corner of the bed. Mr. D came in, and it seems he is starting to understand you are gone. There is a littering of toys at the foot of the bed telling us that Mr. D has been waiting for you to feel well enough to play for some time before you died. He calls to you in the hallways. I'm not sure if you are somewhere where you can hear him or me. I am trembling over the silence and the dark. Mr. D wanted you to still be here, and he reminds me with his sad eyes just how hard this sense of loss can be, truly dark and deep as being plunged into the sea. Your papa has missed you too. I saw him utterly sob for you, his little baby. You and him were the dearest of friends, and I saw him bring a light to you and you a light to him in this life that were the likes of which I had never seen. We are having a hard time finding a reason and a way to regroup and reinvest in the dream that carried us here. Now things seem empty and endlessly nauseating. I am overly tired and I can barely stand being awake, and yet I dread drifting off to sleep without you beside me. I know you would have stayed, but we saw the likes of the suffering and death waiting for, even though I am still mad at the ugliest and most painful choices I had to make for you. But you were my consummate baby, even tender and gentle toward the doctor who came to kill you, to ease your pain permanently. Even though I would have wanted you here till the end, your suffering would have been so great and grave. My spirit still searches for you. I wanted to find you in the bathroom, waiting for me to come around from my book to give you a pat on the head and for you to reach up for me like a child wanting to be cradled, as you would often do. I never stopped holding you even when you got old, and in the last days I held and rocked you like my baby. I never wanted to stop doing that for you because it mattered so much to you to have that comforting. It mattered equally to me. As your papa said, you gave so purely and so easily and found great joy in even a scrap of love sprinkled unto you. I remember in some of my darkest days you would come and rub your little head against me, and I would be lost in some depressive daydream, and you would urge me back to life somehow, awakening me with your persistent purring, your gratitude brimming and flowing over. I had some diversions today that have helped with the journey. I still reach for you but have given you more space and distance. I realize that now that I still feeling your energy, and for this reason I have come to a better space of peace. There are many strong moments of grief though. Remembering them jabbing you with that giant needle and wrangling you when you tried to get away, then lowering your head and submitting to the fact that you have no control and no say over your end. I never want to relive that again, that painful moment of you leaving so unlike the way I wanted your end to be. It is the painful part of the end that I wish I would not have to relive again and again. I remember how you used to comfort me when I was utterly depressed at the trailer and at the 5th Street apartment. Always my dearest baby, sitting beside me through the darkest moments. I wish I could have held you forever and carried you around like a baby. You were sick of me telling you how to do things, like an awkward mother guiding you through the steps of any given day in doting and I'm sure sometimes exasperating ways. I miss you so very much, and I think sometimes I might just die before I find my way to feeling wholly at peace. Partially the sorrow is because I can't seem to replay the old moments wholly. Yet, I remember you sinking into the couch with me many nights at the old place while I did homework on the computer, and you would have that big weird pillow to sit on beside me, and how you would love food and games back then so much that you and Dee kept the house rocking. How often you were beside me, and how often I took for granted that you would always be. Sometimes even not noticing when you and I both sunk low into the couch to an uncomfortable degree. How I wish I could rewind time and cherish each moment with the sacredness with which it was meant to be treated. Now the house here seems so empty, and my whole journey backtracking is sad and hard to cope with. I remember you nuzzling into us between your papa and me, always beside the two of us. We don't know how to go forward, we are adrift yet, and I don't even have any sense of what I would want to do without you here, and I can't believe that when I looked I couldn't find more pictures of you here on this PC or camera disc. It's as if you were erased suddenly before I could even say goodbye, and yet I know that I stayed vigilantly beside you till the end as I promised. I never wanted you to leave me, and I know you never wanted to leave either for my sake. I don't want you to see me like this so very sad, but I don't know how life will fill itself in anymore. I haven't done art in some time with enjoyment and vigor. I haven't wanted to shop and have found much less pleasure in eating. It all seems so for naught, as if the motions no longer hold meaning and the silence is resonating through my being. Baby D did not call out to you tonight. I think he knows more and more each day that you are gone. Could you come to him in dreams yet too? He would love that, but he looked for you when your papa and him played, so we will all remember you forever. It has been heart-wrenching to see your little bed still between your papa and I in the bed. I know that was not your forever bed, but it was your sick bed when you were still here and I pulled you closer to my face. I miss you with a vigor that I can't even explain. The rawness of missing you is in place of the presence you once shared. Oh my dear sweet Piggy, I hope you knows that you have mattered a great deal to me, and letting go of you has been one of the single hardest things to face seriously. It means that I am free of the bonds of commitment to the promise I made to be with you and Fudgy and ready till the very end, and the vow to be with you to the very brink of the edge of this space. Now I am so very lost without you, my dear little boy. You gave me the security to keep on going, and I knew that when I came up and your feet were by that door that I was welcomed in with tremendous love and kindness. Now the lovescape seems barren and empty without someone to reach for who'll reach back to me with the same need. I am so bitterly sad that I am afraid I will need to run away. I am glad to be close to Dee, and I am glad to be close to Bunny, and your papa is my forever love, I think. But I am so bitterly afraid. It's around 6 a.m., just short of your witching hour. My little wig, I tried to lay in bed and your papa said I could snuggle in with him. He is a dear spirit and I am trying very hard not to be so sad all the time around him and Mr. D and Bunny both, but this is so hard. You were a mischievous boy and strong and brave, but also my little love too, and you replaced that lost energy when the divorce happened, and you guarded and sheltered me from the worst storms. I miss you so very much, I'm afraid, because it seems every time I turn a corner I think of you. I thought of you today when I was at our family visit and they had ham and lunch meat sandwiches, and I remembered how each holiday I would want to bring home a holiday plate for you. I knew it would matter to you for me to think of you and to bring something home to snack on. Today I asked your papa if Bunny and Dee would want a snack, and he said no, that they weren't interested like you were. That made me very sad. Your little Christmas scratch toys are still here with a catnip on them. Sometimes Mr. D and Baby will scratch on them. Mr. D still hunts for you, and Bunny has been very discontented over missing you. She hunted for you in the hallway and the closet, and I told her you were gone, but she got upset. I don't know how to heal their wounded hearts over your loss, and it breaks my heart too. I want things to be okay for them again, and I keep reaching out, but it's not the same and it's hard to break the spell. I want us all to be okay again and for things to go back to what they were, and I have had a hard time not finding fault in letting you go the way I did. I never want to relive you having to die like that, and it replays over and over and over in my head like a miserable song. I did not want them to come and stab you like that and to cause you to puff your tail or to die. It was the most agonizing memory I will carry through the rest of my days, especially after you came to me all day to find comfort. I knew you were dying though, Piggy, and I hope you know that I loved you more than life itself, and that I have a hard time going onward. We all are struggling. I don't know how to honor you without sorrow. I find little pieces of joy throughout the day, and then I feel guilty for them because I don't want to forget you. I don't know how to move forward with life. Your papa has found that he would like to pan for gold to get through this and to have family gatherings and find other ways to get through. There is a part of me that is truly agonizing over this loss. I was not even used to this place yet, and sleeping in the bedroom on the floor instead of the living room with the whole family, and now this place seems too big and too hard to manage, and I don't want to lose it, but I just don't have any energy to feed into it. I feel like I too am crashing and burning and dying with you, and yet my heart wants and needs to get through this. I went home and laid still and silent through the TV playing, and when I lay there to try and still myself, I could feel my dear little Piggly talking to me, telling me that he would help from the spirit realms to heal me if I just trusted. I realized that I have a far way to go from being afraid to accepting an inevitable end. Piglet. Watching you pace and that tender little heart of yours coming back to me time and time again to nestle on the couch blanket to find comfort again between the pains of kidneys failing and feeling like having to pee. I remember you coming to wait for me, your feet at the top of the stairs so I could see them beneath the bottom of the door. No matter where I was coming from, you arrived to come greet me. I remember your mischief going through the doorway of the trailer bedroom to visit us during movie time, but that you always had privacy in our bed. I remember you visiting Chocolate, our fish, in Ellington. I remember Grandma coming to visit and keep you in line because you and Fudgy and Reddy were spoiled and unruly, coming onto the counter and the stove and into the fridge to get something to eat. I remember how much you loved company and how each person held the hopeful possibility of shared snacks, cuddles and comforts. I remember you, a little slinky baby kitten, running beside Fudgy, galloping, rolling, playing happily beneath my feet. Never letting me forget you were there even in my most selfish moments of art and writing, music and TV. I remember you even hanging out with our friends and gathering in our midst at parties like a little show-off ham, letting us see what you could do. You beautiful, running up the wall, scratching and giggling, my tiny baby, I miss you. I tried looking at pictures of you and they all seemed sad, and I felt like I was sad because I couldn't find any that made me remember how it felt to hold you or how much eager love was in your eyes. I am sorry if I failed you, my dear little piggy. I am dying inside.